My name is Brent Roberts, and this is why legalizing marijuana is good for our economy. Before the 2012 election results, one could say that any efforts for legal marijuana in this United States would be futile. Now with Colorado and Washington State fully legalizing adult recreational use for marijuana, and they plan on benefiting from it. In a time of economic struggle, this country needs to take advantage of the monetary benefits of a government-regulated marijuana industry. With the end of marijuana prohibition, the United States can benefit many ways, including a massive blow to illegal drug cartel distribution. It can also guarantee a massive economic windfall for the government through tax revenues and discontinue judicial and legal resources against marijuana, saving the government billions of dollars. The expression of history repeating itself holds true to this situation. Just as our ancestors restricted alcohol, creating a business for the famous bootlegger Al Capone, present-day prohibition has allowed another criminal organizations like drug cartels to take over. The drug cartels reside mainly in Mexico and Colombia, where they illegally traffic a wide range of drugs into America each year, mostly from states bordering Mexico or the Gulf. Most people don't understand why they call it a drug war, but it seems appropriate considering each year 48,000 people are killed in suspected drug violence. The legalization of marijuana could take as much as $10 billion away from the cartels, which is about 75% of the cartel's income. Instead of drug cartels controlling the marijuana industry, the government will take control of the people who choose to experiment with marijuana safely. With the legalization of marijuana, law enforcement resources can be directed to the cartel rather than American citizens. Like any other colossal industry, cannabis will have a huge profit. Simple economics show that we live in a capitalist society, which means the public votes with their dollars as to where they spend and where their money goes. The United States will profit from the U.S. consumers of marijuana, numbering anywhere from $25 to $60 million. According to the prices of medical marijuana in 2011 tax revenues, profits can reach about 8.9 if that were throughout the whole United States. If marijuana was legalized in states like Colorado and California, this could be as much as $1.5 billion. And according to a Sacramento newspaper, around $290,000 was raised just in the first month of their medical marijuana shops. I now introduce the money the government would save by discontinuing the strict marijuana laws. By redirecting judicial and legal resources, the U.S. will save an estimated $7.7 billion by legalizing marijuana annually. Taxpayers and the government bear the burden of chasing incarcerations for what are basically petty drug crimes. Every $200 petty drug crime costs society about $100,000 for the trial and sentencing. According to my sources, the U.S. government could save around $11 billion a year from public savings, including police crackdowns on marijuana and savings from correctional facilities. Like alcohol and tobacco use, parents, schools, governments, and the media must educate the youth about health effects of smoking pot. Education is the best vehicle to control the high demand of marijuana. 2012 is just the beginning, and the legalization must be taken seriously so this country could benefit from it economically. Drastic times call for drastic measures, and with a national debt approaching around $16 trillion, the cannabis industry doesn't have much else. But it doesn't also seem like a bad idea. It is said that cannabis can be an alternative fuel to petroleum by growing vast amounts and fermenting it so that ethanol can mix and make fuel. Washington and Colorado are the first pioneers for recreational use, and if the profits live up to expectations, then we might see other states follow within the next 2 years. Lawmakers in New York have already begun planning for Hurricane Sandy relief by drafting up laws about marijuana recreational legalization. For those against the recreational use of marijuana, the arguments will include the potential harm against the youth and consequences of smoking. As I said earlier, a government-regulated cannabis industry will resemble alcohol. That being said, you must be 21 or older in order to purchase it, and I'm sure drug dealers have never asked anybody for an ID. Now that the health consequences have always been a concern, with the risk of lung cancer and other infectious things, fortunately, healthier alternatives to smoking have been made, including vaporization, edibles, and cannabis oil pills that are used medicinally. I believe the positives outweigh the negatives at this point, and it's time for this country to move forward. Thank you.